Yo, happy Monday, YouTube. How are you doing today? Big old Buck back here with Buck's Baseball Podcast. Today, we're going over the National League players to invest in early and often in MLB the Show 25. Yesterday, we did the American League. Tomorrow, we'll be going over tips and tricks on how to make your stub count grow very, very fast in MLB the Show 25. But without further ado, it's National League Day. Let's get into it.
Hey, take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd.
First up for the Atlanta Braves, they have some interesting names. Hurston Waldrop is probably my favorite. I like Jared Kelenic in that lineup, maybe to have a bounce back season a lot. Spencer Schwellenbach is another really good name. He is at silver already. I don't know where they'll start him to start the year, but if they do start him, you know, in the low silver, is definitely worth investing in. But if I'm going to put stubs on anybody on this team, it's going to be either Jared Kelenic or more than likely Hurston Waldrop is probably my favorite Brave to be investing in early. Now, it also means, you know, we'll have to see if there's anybody else that makes the team who's not on this current roster of players for MLB the Show 24 who might be in 25, but Hurston Waldrop, number one for me. All right, the Marlins. I find it hard to be excited about anything that's going on with the Marlins right now. They do have some good young pitchers, though. Jesus Luzardo, especially if he gets traded to a better team, might have a chance to be even better. Edward Cabrera, we all know the horror stories of facing him in MLB the Show, but this could be a season where he finally puts everything together and becomes a beast that we all know he can be. Max Myers, another really good arm. Griffin Conine, you know, we'd heard about him, but he hasn't really been anything that we thought he would. Fidel Brujan, already 26 years old, plays everywhere, but hasn't really taken that next step. But if there's one name that I'm going to give you that would really have the best chance of making any stubs, that's Adam Mazur. Starting pitcher, very young, 22, very raw, probably going to make the team. It's looking like out of spring training. So he'll definitely be a common, I would think, in 25. So he's probably the one I would throw 5 stubs at. No more than 5 stubs, but just for straight up investment purposes, it would be him. If I wanted to invest in someone who might have a quicker, better overall return, it's probably Max Meyer. But yeah, just not a lot to be excited about in Miami. For the New York Mets, there's one name for me and one name only, and that's Luis Angel Acuna. I love this dude's game. I think he has a chance to make, you know, a starting position there in New York. I just like him. I think overall he's a great player. I don't think he's his brother for sure. He's a different kind of player, but he's very solid. Games aren't exactly the same, you know what I mean? But he's still a very good player, and I would definitely be focusing on him probably only with the New York Mets. I mean, Jet Williams, I don't think is going to play for them this year yet. But, you know, Beatty could have a bounce back this year, too. He hasn't gotten off to a great start, but Acuna would be number one for me for the Mets. All right, earlier when I talked about the Marlins, I was talking about Jesus Luzardo. I completely spaced and forgot that he's now with the Phillies. He did get moved, and he's now with the Phillies. So Phillies have, you know, some decent young names. They have another starting pitcher, Andrew Painter. They also have Abel, who could make some noise this year. But, yeah, I forgot completely about Jesus Luzardo. So Jesus Luzardo would definitely be someone on this Phillies team that I'd be interested in. Their rotation is pretty sneaky good. Right now, he's kind of penciled in as the 5th starter, and that's not even counting those other 2 young kids with what they already have. They got Ranger Suarez. You got Nola, Wheeler. Yeah, this is a pretty dangerous pitching rotation, and it's very deep. Even a guy like Aaron Nola, right now he's at an 80 gold. You know he's a diamond level pitcher. He bounces back and gets the diamond this year. He's going to be a solid investment, especially if they start him off at a low gold. Phillies have a lot to be excited about, as do the Nationals. We're talking C.J. Abrams, diamond level type player. James Wood, diamond level type player. Dylan Cruz, diamond level type player. Like, these 3 are just great young players, all worth investing in. Mackenzie Gore, probably going to start off with low bronze. I still believe Mackenzie Gore. I still think he's got gold arm in it, like golden arm. I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but he could be a gold pretty easily. I've been a fan of his for a long time. You ask anybody in my stream, I've been yapping about him for a long time. Cade Cavalli still has a chance to be very, very good. Yeah, there's a lot to be excited about. If you're a Nationals fan, I'm not saying they're going to finish any better than 4th place behind the Phillies, the Mets, and the Braves, but they still have a lot to be excited about. But if you ask me to put my money on one player to start the year, it's really going to matter where they put, if they put Dylan Cruz, James Woods down in the bronzes, definitely one of those two, probably both of them. But Mackenzie Gore also, I think, will be in the bronze, and I would definitely be investing in Mackenzie Gore. I invested in him this year, and he paid off a little bit, but not as much as I wish he would have, but I still believe. Cubs, Pete Crow Armstrong, I think, is a diamond level player, but he's too high he's already gold, probably going to start gold, I imagine, this season for the Cubs. So I don't know. He's not really someone I would be interested in throwing a lot of stubs at. I just feel like it's too risky of an investment for someone who likes to dive all over the field and potentially get hurt. I would hate to see people get their stubs wrapped up in him. Kevin Alcantara, Porter Hodge, both really good young players for the Cubs. I like them a lot. Matt Mervis, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Matt Mervis. I don't even know if he's going to make the team. Caleb Killian, I like him a lot too. The player I would be most happy about, and the one I would throw the most stubs at, who should be in 25, is Matt Shaw. He's not on here, but he's going to be on the team. I'm almost 99% sure, out of spring training, playing third base, and especially since they didn't get Bregman. They did sign Justin Turner, but I feel like they're going to give him the at-bats. And if he doesn't start the season as the starter and they do something crazy like put him at AAA, if he's on the roster, he'll be a common, maybe a low bronze if MLB the Show's feeling froggy. That's who I would throw all my stubs at. But if he's not and he doesn't make the team, it's Kevin Alcantara for me. This kid is a monster. I didn't realize how tall and how big he actually is. He's a very big kid, and he's going to mash the baseball. The Reds, this one's easy. Christian Encarnacion and Rhett Lauder, of the players that are here right now. Those are the two I'm 100% throwing stubs at, especially if they start Encarnacion off as a common. I think that'll be crazy. Will Benson's another one. If they start him off as a common, they have so many good young players to invest in. These two probably 1A, 1B. Rhett Lauder, probably number 2 there. But there's so much to like. Marte could bounce back if he can, stay out of trouble. Reese Hines, really, really good. And we're not even talking about their starting pitchers. They got, and Ellie De La Cruz, who's a diamond level talent. If they start him off at a low gold, probably worth holding on to him. I like Lodolo a lot. I think he has a gold level talent. Matt McClain is a gold level talent. Depends on where they start him off at. The Reds are definitely a team that's worth investing in. There's so much to be excited about. Heimer Candelario is still really good too. Just a ton to be excited about in Cincinnati. The Brewers are interesting. I don't know. They don't have a lot like that pops into my head like right off the rip that I would just be like overly excited about. But DL Hall, I think, in that rotation, it seems like Milwaukee always has this voodoo magic anymore. They stole it from the Cardinals, and they just seem to get these players in there and they just make them excel. And they're there every year at the top of the division. And DL Hall is one of those players that's very interesting to me, especially if they start him off at a low bronze. He's probably my favorite of these Brewers to invest in. It just depends on who makes the team out of spring, if there's any surprises and any players that they add to 25 that we're not thinking of right off the rip. But yeah, one name and one name only for me for the Brewers, and that's DL Hall. Pirates have some bounce back candidates. O'Neal Cruz is a low silver. Ke'Bryan Hayes, both these guys, and they are better than what they've shown. They are gold level talents. Ke'Bryan is an amazing defender. His bat's just never shown up. It's just not there. I don't know why. It should be, but it's just not. O'Neal Cruz is in center field now. I don't know. His bat, everybody thought it was right there with Ellie, but it just hasn't been. I still like those two players a lot. I don't think they're anybody that I would invest in early. My investment I think this year is Henry Davis's year. I think this is a year that he proves he is the player that they drafted, that top prospect, top pick. Henry Davis is the catcher of the future, I believe. In Pittsburgh, I know that they have a few catchers there that everybody likes. Me, and for my money, I think this is the year that Henry Davis finally takes that job and runs with it. Cardinals are in a transition, they claim, although they haven't really done literally anything this winter. They do have some decent, intriguing young players. And then they have a guy like Riley O'Brien who got hurt last year, who can be a real force out of the bullpen. If they start him off this low as a common, I would definitely pick him up. If he stays healthy, he's going to be a, 7th inning, 8th inning type guy for the Cardinals. And it's all about health with him. If he's healthy, he's definitely going to be higher than a common. Nolan Gorman is this year. He's finally going to put it together, do something. The fact that Thomas Sajaci is already at the same level as Nolan Gorman is kind of crazy if you think about it, but it makes sense because Gorman has been kind of a disappointment. I mean, not kind of a disappointment. He has been a disappointment. Jordan Walker, this is his year. This is the year where he's going to show that he is that top prospect that everybody thought he was going to be. The bat's going to play. The defense is getting better. I just realized my camera was frozen. I really fucking hate this, man. I might have to get a new camera. This Elgato one, I just don't know what's going on with it. But it's really shit the bed. I don't know. But anyways, Jordan Walker, like I said, the fact that he's lower than Victor Scott is crazy to me. I really like him a lot. I like Ivan Herrera a lot. I think this is the year Lars Nootbaar, if he stays healthy, puts it together and becomes a solid gold player. But for me, my stubs are going to 2 players, Jordan Walker and this young pitcher right here, Michael McGreevy, who's a common. If they start him off as a common, I think he's going to be in the starting rotation to start the year. I think he's going to force his way in there. I don't know whose spot he's going to take. If they trade Fetty, that'll open it up for him. He'll be right in there. But to me, Palante showed last year that he's in the rotation. He's got a spot. But this guy, Michael McCreevy, ever since he learned another pitch when he came up to the major league roster, Sonny Gray helped him out. He's going to reach out. I always said that he reminded me a lot of Lance Lynn. And if he ends up being anything like Lance Lynn, he's going to be a solid buy this year. All right, Diamondbacks. It's all about one player, Jordan Lawler. Love Jordan Lawler. I think he is an absolute beast. He's 21, going to be 22 this year. This is the year where he makes the team out of spring, and we're going to see what the hype was about with Jordan Lawler. Now, they still have some other good players to be excited about, and Jordan Montgomery is a bounce-back candidate there, too, at 65 overall. Definitely a huge bounce-back candidate. He was terrible there last year. And Corbin Carroll. Now, they have him in an 80 because he kind of had a down year last year. He won't. I believe he's going to finish top 5 in the MVP. He's going to find his way back to Diamond. And if they start him off at an 80 gold or even something crazier, maybe slide him into the silvers, you better be buying him because Corbin Carroll is the real deal. And I think this year he's going to prove that again, and he's going to end up a Diamond. But again, he's a gold, so it's not really somebody you want to throw your stubs at necessarily unless you're doing really well. So those stubs for me will go to Jordan Lawler. Rockies on the current MLB The Show 24 on their roster, this is the only player. Adael Amador. This is it. Like, they're one of their 2 top prospects. He's going to play because they're going to let him play, and he's really it. I mean, unless Chase Dollander makes the team, I don't really see anybody else worth throwing any subs at. It's just this guy. Especially if they start him off at a common. He's really good. And if he gets a chance to play every day, he's going to show that. But the rest of this roster, there's just, to me, I mean, Nolan Jones maybe could be a little, could be something to be excited about. But overall, this Rockies team just stinks to me. Dodgers. Bobby Miller. I mean, I don't know who else to say. I mean, all their like they have an all-star team. Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Glasnow, Will Smith, Tommy Edman, Teoscar. Well, Flaherty's not there anymore, but Yamamoto. Kershaw. This team is crazy loaded. Walker's not there anymore. I like him a lot with the Red Sox as well. But yeah, there's just so much top-heavy talent here that there's not a lot to be excited about down on the lower level, to invest in. But I think Bobby Miller could be that. Bobby Miller has a legit ace type talent arm. So if you're going to invest in someone with the Dodgers, that's probably it right now. So the Padres are kind of the same way as the Dodgers. They're very top heavy talent wise. They do have some players that are down from where they probably should be. And that's like Manny Machado, Joe Musgrove probably could be back into the gold range. Xander Bogaerts, who really hasn't put it, didn't really put it all together last year. There's not a lot of like young talent. I mean, Jackson Merrill was right there for Rookie of the Year last year. Dylan Cease is already a diamond. There's just not a young player right now that's not here that pops into your head to invest in early. So with Padres, you're going to be looking for players for bounce backs like Machado, like Xander Bogaerts, Joe Musgrove, those type players. All right, last but not least, the Giants. Now, there's nobody that really pops out at you on their current list here, but there are some young players coming along. Bryce Eldridge and Carson Weisenhunt. They're not here, but I think there's a very good chance that they could make the team out of spring and they would be added to the game in 25. Those would be the names I would be looking for, because outside of maybe somebody you can maybe go for a bounce back like a Jordan Hicks type player, maybe Taylor Rogers, somebody like that who might bounce back and grow from where they are right now. It's those two young players for me. They're just another team with a lot of older players looking to try to make the postseason, and just not a lot that I'm excited about on the current list for MLB the Show 24. I'd be looking for those two names. Or like I said, if you want to look for a bounce back, Jordan Hicks is probably one of those. That's the National League. Sorry about the camera issues. I don't know what's going on with this Elgato camera. It's been an issue ever since I got a new PC, so I don't know if I need to look into getting a new one or what, but if you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up. I appreciate it very, very much. It helps the channel grow. And something else that helps is comments. Let me know what players you're investing in the National League this year, what names I might have missed that you're interested in, and help the community grow their stub count. If you're not subscribed, smash the subscribe button. It's free. I will be streaming on 4 different platforms starting today. That's Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter X. I should be live on all those later today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to follow all my socials. They're in the description of the video. And until next time, you can catch me right here. Same buck time, same buck channel.